And as we know, every Monday, we humanize the superheroes. Someone recently asked me, what does that mean? You say it a lot. And what I mean is a lot of times we see the rewards. We see the end results of the journey. There's so much that took place to get to where a lot of artists are and while they're still on their journey. So we just sit back, we have a good conversation, and we talk about a lot of the things that bring you into who you are and where you're going. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Jump on. I just want to make sure all the wheels and bearings is working and all the streaming sites is everybody out there. All right, Ivan, my man Ivan, he always shows up. We got Ivan hailing out of Russia. He said he can't miss a day. He put in his message, I thought you were running out on me because you didn't start on your normal time. Ivan, thank you, Ivan. That's a compliment, letting us know that you rock with us heavy. Today we have a talent. We have an individual that I don't even want to say too much too early, but has overcome so much and is given a lot into not only expression but people. And we're going to talk a little bit about his journey. We're going to talk about some of the things he's doing and what he got cooking in store. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go into a song. We're going to set the tone real quick. This is Just Vince One, and this song is called Let's Fix It. There's nothing wrong with fixing something, y'all, especially if it's not working. Let's check this out and we're going to get the set going, y'all.
SHU Studio, we get busy.
It's been 2 months and 2 days since we both went our separate ways. Oh yeah. And at first I thought it would be easy. Out in the club with the fellas, thought it made me feel better, but late night all alone, that's when things start getting heavy. I just wanna call your phone and bring you home. Can I be honest? I'm sick of hiding feelings, done with the fighting. We should fix this, baby. I'm really missing you. Do you really think about me too? It's true, girl, I'm still in love with you. Come back, girl, so we can fix this, baby. Come back, girl, come back so we can fix this. Turn off the radio, I'm sick of hearing your favorite love song. It's gonna hurt to watch what we used to watch together. Everything reminds me of you. Late night all alone, that's when things start getting heavy. I just wanna call your phone and bring it home. Can I be honest? I'm sick of hiding feelings, done with the fighting. We should fix this, baby. I'm really missing you. Do you really think about me too? It's true, girl, I'm still in love with you. Come back, girl, so we can fix this, baby. Come back, girl, come back so we can fix this. I can't sleep, this is killing me.
I see the people out there liking this one.
Mistake, thinking I'll be okay, 'cause time has really opened my eyes. I see missing you drives me insane. Can I be honest? Can I be honest, baby? Feelings done with the baby, I'm sick of the fighting. Baby, I'm really missing you. Do you really think about me too? It's true, girl, I'm still in love with you. Come back, girl, so we can fix this, baby. Come back, girl. Come back so we can fix this.
Shout out to everybody that's on right now. Much love to everybody. We got an individual. You heard the vocals. R&B is an art. It ain't. There's a lot of people who could sing. There's a lot of people who could sing, and then there's some people who can't sing, right? And that's okay too. But R&B is an art. Like, even if you can't sing, if you know the art, you could get away with it. But if you can sing and you know the structures and the textures of R&B, you make magic. And the chat is, everyone's like, yes, excellent, we love it. Without further ado, we know time is money, and I don't like wasting neither, especially when it's not just mine. And I don't want to be ungrateful and inconsiderate of the brother's time. But this brother that you just got to hear right now, that voice, that R&B feel, we have the brother Just Vince. And let's bring him front and center. Just Vince, how you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, man?
First and foremost, when I was running around today, and my daughter says to me, "Oh, so who are you interviewing today?" And I said, "Oh, I'm interviewing Just Vince one." And she was like, "There has to be a message behind that name." And I said, "You know what?" And she's 11. I said, "You know what? I'm going to ask." She said, "There has to be, because you just don't pick that name." So I want to set it off with the name. How did the name come?
Well, growing up as a kid, I went through a lot of turmoil, and I was expected to be something, someone of a higher caliber than I was, instead of just letting me be a child, and I didn't want to be Vincent, I just wanted to be Vince, because just Vince is a name, is just a friendly name, and it's non-threatening. It's like your next door neighbor, it means no harm. It just comes to spread love. And, when people ask you, who is it? It's just Vince.
Just Vince. As I don't, and I'm not saying this to minimize. As simple as your explanation is as powerful as it was as well. I'll make sure I'm gonna relay this message to my 11-year-old who basically pressed me in the car, like, you gotta find that out, because there's more to that name.
Yeah.
But without further ado, I want you to just take me back to that 3-year-old who's listening to his mother's voice and that passionate sound of singing that, possibly sparked who you are today.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I can remember back as far as I was 3, but what I remember is my mom being an alcoholic, and I didn't have a father in the house. We lived in the projects, and I remember my mom was upset with me because not all the time she loved me, but at times, because I looked like my father, and my father, she and my father had me, and so my father ended up going back to his wife in New York, and I guess that just, being that I looked so much like him, that just it did something to her. So I don't know if she beat me because she didn't, she thinks she was beating him or hurting him, but she couldn't help it either, because when I was growing up, everything to solve a problem was a child was to beat him. So I was being beaten and hurt in that way, and at the same time I was being molested by a family friend of the family. So
Wow.
Music was my only outlet to help me to get away from what I was going through. So I had to be somebody else. I wanted to be anywhere that I wasn't.
Wow. So music was basically your escape.
It was my only escape.
I truly understand that. I've had my share of hardships, and music was the only thing that I could rely on. During those times, were you formulating your own music, or you was just internalizing the sounds that were around you?
I was internalizing the sounds that around me. When all this was going on. I can put on a towel around my neck, and I can be the Godfather of soul. I'm 59 years old. So I was born back in the '60s, and so I could be the Godfather of soul. I could be Michael Jackson. I can be all of these people. And I used to stand with a brush in the mirror, and I would emulate these people because that's where the love came from. Because I didn't feel love. I didn't
Gotcha.
feel love. I felt betrayed and hurt, and picked on, and I couldn't get it together. I didn't know what I did wrong, that would cause this to happen to me. So in that moment, when I was in the mirror with the brush singing to an AM radio, because all we had was AM stations in North Carolina, where I lived at, um, it helped me to forget what was going
What's
on
going on?
momentarily. Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to pry into that, but how long did you feel alone in this moment? Like, how long was it? The years of your
It was
youth?
years. It was years. Like I said, I can remember from going, to the age of at the age of 3. I can remember that. But this went on until I was about 7 or 8. My mom died of cirrhosis of the liver, and like I said, I'm not saying that she, didn't love me. I don't blame her. I forgive her. But this is something that was handed down from generation to generation to generation. And and later on in life, I became a byproduct of what my mother and father was myself, an alcoholic and a recovering addict. I've been clean and sober for some time now, good long
Yeah.
time. But that gene was instilled in me. I was born with it, and and the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. I just had to find God for myself and free myself so that I can break that family curse off of my life and the people that come behind me.
First and foremost, I want to say two things. You said you 59, my brother. You got to write a book on how how you maintain that. But second, you know, I want to say kudos to you on your strength and your transitions in life to find the betterment of yourself, man. So, just
Thank
wanted to
you.
make knowledge of that. So I could imagine in these times, music. You diving deeper into the music. When was it when you found your music touch? Like, when was the first thing you did musically, in that effect?
As far as professionally or
Or
just
just in general? Just in general.
well, I started. I've always, like I said, I always gravitated to music all my life, and it's always been in me. Um, I never looked at myself as being able to sing. I look at some singers right now and say, "Wow, um, they're great," and I try to compare myself to them. But then God slows me down. He says that they're them and you're you. You
Yes.
do what the abilities I give you to do. They can't be you and you can't be them. So I sung in quartet choirs, and gospel had always been my go-to, my root, my strong place. And I sung in to open up for people like Dorothy Norwood and John P. Key and the the Gospel Keynotes, and all those gospel great groups back then.
Yeah.
So it just music has always been, whenever I got in trouble or whenever I couldn't think or I couldn't find my way out of it, it was always a song. It was always something, a melody that I found in my heart to bring me back, because the Bible says train the child in the way they should grow up, and when they do grow up, if they do go wrong, they won't depart from it. They'll come back to what you've taught them. The foundation of a house is subject to change. I'm sorry, the structure of a house is subject to change. You can go backwards or you can go up. You know what I mean? You can go widthwise, but you will not never be able to change the foundation. The foundation always gonna stay the same. And my foundation is on Christ, thou solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand.
My brother, talk about it. Talk about it. Now, I know music has always been in your life, some shape or form. When was that first time you heard your own voice?
Uh to be honest with you, the first time I really and I recorded gospel music, but the first time I actually really heard my own voice was working with a producer that I hold in high regard right now. He's a Grammy Award winning member of Blackstreet, Jay Styles.
Shout out to Jay Styles, good brother.
Yeah. And that was about 4 years ago. You get into the studio and everything's sounds great while you're out of the studio, but then when you get in and you put those headsets on and you start playing the back, you can hear everything.
You sure can.
I didn't know about singing with open mouths and closed mouths and round notes and things like that. I just did what I did because I wasn't professionally trained. But Jay Styles took me in there and he said, "Okay, homie, I'll let you go head on and I'll let you do you. Now this is what we're gonna do." He said, "You have the gift, you have the voice. Let me help you to put it together." And he showed me how to be an artist.
I love that. I love that. Now we've just heard how much I don't want to say turmoil, but how the events in your life have come and some of the things that you were affected by. During your journey, was there ever a doubt in the pursuit of music due from, situations that happened in the past or possibly trauma or anything like that? Because I know a lot of artists that I speak to this day, they didn't face half the things that you've just mentioned, but there's always that fear or doubt in them. Have you ever faced that during your journey, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I face it now today, still. You know,
That's real.
just being in the journey, just being in the industry. As an artist, you're always gonna see who you measure up to. What can you do? I mean, you're always comparing yourself to other people and how you can get better at what you're doing. Not to tear anyone else down, but just to be in competition with yourself. And so going through that journey, um, I had to learn how to build myself up in a way that not to look at Johnny Gill as being Johnny Gill. You know what I mean? He's the Johnny Gill. But however, Johnny Gill can do what Just Vince does, and Just Vince can do what Johnny Gill does. We're two different people with two different type of voice tones and types. So I overcame that. To answer your question, I overcame that by just being me, just being authentic to who I am, for loving people, for thanking God first and foremost for saving my life, for to allow me to be in a time of today. Because had I been God, I would have killed me a long time ago.
That's powerful. Now, two things, but what I want to ask is, when did you find that power in God? A lot of times when we're going through stuff, we necessarily don't see that as a power. Sometimes we're just lost in our turmoil or our situations. When was that moment that you heard or felt the presence that now helped guide you?
Um, I grew up in the church, so I always known about God, but like anybody else, you can't live off of your grandmother's God and your grandmama's mama's God. You have to find them for yourself. So I never stopped praying. I never stopped believing. Although things weren't happening at that point, I always knew there was something else that I needed to be doing. For some reason or another, I get myself, you know. Caught up in things, and I may not be able to get out of it right then, but God always kept me alive. He allowed me to feel some of those things, because the things that I had to feel, I had to know that I know what I was talking about when I was talking to another Vincent. You're gonna meet another Vincent somewhere in this lifetime. Spuddy, you're gonna meet another Spud somewhere in this lifetime. But you gotta know that you know what you know, that you're talking about, because the devil is always there to challenge your thoughts and what you've been through. But nobody can tell Spud that you can't make it, because you are living example that you can make it if you grind hard enough and you keep your face clean and you keep your steps clean and you're honest and pure about what you're trying to do.
As I'm quoting the chat right now. Amen. That's what the that's what the chat put the amen. I'm quoting the chat right now. Now, my brother, you've been able to be in some really great situations. I want to highlight some of those. You actually won the S and M Gospel Awards for
Yes.
best video. and
Yes.
and charted number 2. Could you talk a little bit about that and how did it feel to be honored for some of the work that you put in?
I was shocked. I was
Oh,
shocked to win the S&M Gospel Awards because there was many artists out there, great independent artists, and I was shocked. It was my first award. I never won anything but a jail sentence. You know what I mean?
mm.
Or a prison sentence. That's what I won from the judge, and to win that was a highlight. I still have that trophy sitting at home right now. It made me feel um, worthy. And then when I tried cash number 2 and Cashbox, out of all of the million of people in this world,
Yes.
that made me feel like, wow, Vince, you might be onto something. But I always loved R&B music. I always felt like I can do a great job with bringing back that love and bringing back that the what I'm looking for is substance in R&B music, because it seemed like to me this lost its substance.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember we used to sing about back in the day, Gerald Levert and all those guys used to sing about loving and unity to a woman, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Luther Vandross and all those great artists sung about love. They're singing to women. Now the guys are singing to guys about women,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And so only thing God would allow you to keep in your life is what you give away. And what I give away is
That's deep.
experience. What I give away is love. I give away sincerity, and I give myself away because I want to be not only in your ear and in your household. I want to plant a seed. You know, we plant the seed. God waters and gives the increases.
There you go. There you go. And blossoms to the world. And blossoms to the
Yes.
world. I was gonna ask a question that's kind of parallel to a question in the chat. And
Mhm.
the question in the chat, my question was initially, was there any conflict of you doing music from between R&B and sometimes they say that's worldly stuff when it comes to the church. I work with a lot of artists who been on the fence or conflict of like, I want to do R&B, but the church. Or have you ever faced that problem?
Oh, yeah, I've faced that. I've heard that, in my ear, and I've heard people say that, you're a circular artist. I said, what's so circular about love? Ain't God love?
Mm,
Isn't God unity? You know what I mean? So are you calling? If you call what I'm doing, building up the love between a man and a woman, or well, I shouldn't say that, building up love, then you're calling God circular, because I'm not talking about anything derogatory. I'm talking about coming together.
yeah.
I'm talking about loving you and apologizing when I'm wrong, and making amends. What's circular about that?
My brother, your answer right there. You need to preach too. There's a lot of folks that need to hear that, man, because
I
it's
want to
true.
stay in my lane, Spud. You know what I mean? God didn't call me to be a preacher. He called me to be a person
Well,
of unity.
well, you know how our grandmothers speak. Let's just
Yeah.
pray on it. Let's just
Yeah.
let's just pray on it. let's just pray on it. Now, when it comes to your music, you speak a lot about love and it has that feel. Is your music based on true to life essence, or you're speaking from, or you're just creating that atmosphere to reignite or ignite that feel of passion and pure passion?
um, some of my songs, in particular, "Let's Fix It." Um, I don't know about you, but only speaking about myself, I've been in plenty of relationships that I messed up completely, including marriages. um, but this is what I would like for it to be. You know what I mean? This is my imagination seeing, the song says, I can't sleep. This is killing me. I made the biggest mistake, um, because because as a man, I can mess things up real quick, you know,
Hmm.
but it takes a big person to come back and say, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. even though you may not forgive me, um, can we at least be cordial?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I speak from when I write music. I speak from the heart, and it's somewhat my experience, but those are things that I feel within myself.
I respect that. Now, with a person with so much light, love, and energy, and the positive energy, how do you feel with like social media, especially as a creative and a musician and an artist? How do you feel, not just you, but it affects the essence of like that love?
Well, I can't speak for anybody else other than myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think things are with social media. Things are already made like a microwave. It's thrown in. It's going really fast. And our folks are not taking the time to really um, court.
Yeah.
And like the old folks saying court, and to talk to the person. You know, we're so quick and we want to get it and we want to get it right now. And I understand that the time has changed. But like I said before, the structure of a house is always subject to change.
That
The
is correct.
foundation is nothing. It's something that you can never change. It always stays the same. So we have to go back to the beginning.
Especially in the field you in, like R&B. It's been missing that light, that warmth. It's been missing that for some time, and you actually capture the feel of that.
And a
What's
lot of all the R&B artists out here are way young. I'm old enough to be their fathers, the Chris Browns and the Ushers. I'm old enough to be their dads. You know what I mean? So what I bring from the '60s, 1966, into 2026 is experience. You know what I mean? No, I don't have the capital they have to push my music like I would like for it to be pushed. However, I bring something they don't bring, and that's experience.
experience? Yeah, and you come from the core of that time, so you could capture the feel that a lot of people can't feel. I don't know if our viewers as well as you know how important that is, not just for the genre but the culture of music. A lot of times we have the
Yeah.
experience, but a lot of times we hold off on it because we don't incorporate it in the now, or mesh it with the transition of the new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets left. So you have a job. You have a very impactful job to do, just Vince. You know, you got a powerful job. What's in the future? Like, where do you see yourself musically, in the future?
Um, Sitting at the Essence Awards, sitting at the Grammys, sitting at somewhere like that. Not only for myself, because this my music is not just for me. My music is for everyone that has been told though that you can't do it, that you're not gonna amount to anything. You know what I mean? I'm
Hmm.
here to tell you that you're a lie. You can do it. Now, the question is, what are you willing to give up?
Yep.
No,
So
because
it's
it comes with a price.
it comes. Yes, yes. Something. Oh, yes. I always talk about that a lot of times. It always comes with something, which is very important to understand in depth. Now, as far as you as a musician, we understand this is a business. And a
Yeah.
lot of times I hear artists, I need a team, I need this. When and now, if it applies, when did the business aspect to you become of importance, for your transition to upscale who just Vince is?
Um, I do a lot of studying, any kind of information anybody gives me. YouTube is a wonderful thing.
YouTube Academy, I call
YouTube is a wonderful thing. I go in there and I study people and I study what they're doing and what they tell me. And I go back when I hear something, I go back. Jay Styles is he's very good for that. Hey, check this out. Check how this person's check out. Check how Method Man is doing this, how this is doing that. You know what I mean? And check this out. And he runs me through it, and I go and I listen to him, and I'll go check it out. You know, I'll learn something that somebody doing, like as far as loading my music to BMI, you know what I mean? And I'll go and I'll learn how to do that myself. You know what I mean? Because the more I know how to do myself, the less likely it is that someone's actually really going to get me. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna go learn and do it myself, and after I learn to do it, I'm no longer gonna need you for that aspect of it. You
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, but the more you learn how to do yourself, the better you'll all be off in this business.
It sure is true. And to add to that, the more you know how to do or understand something, the better you can incorporate someone to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We be wanting people to come on and do stuff and we have no clue how it's working. They could be doing anything. So
They can be. And they're like, $1,000, $1,000. I thought you said 25.
for real, for real. We got a question from my man Ivan. Ivan is here. I call him KGB. Shout out to my man Ivan out in Russia. He said
Hi,
he
Ivan.
he said he would not consider your music gospel from just listening, but he said after giving it more sense, it makes sense. Would you consider he skips and he says, would you consider yourself a gospel artist, or if not, how do you define your genre?
I'm a 100% I'm a 100% R&B artist. 100%. However, gospel is always going to be my foundation forever. I cannot leave. I'm always thanking God for everything, you know. Everything derives around him. If God is not in it, I may not say God in my record. However, I know what I'm saying when I'm saying let's fix this. Let's talk about unity. You know, I'm talking about togetherness. And so, where two or more gather together in the name of God, there He is in the middle of it. BB and CC One and in one of their records, you never hear them say God not one time.
That's real.
You know, they say He or Him or something like that. But you have to imagine that's what it is. But yeah, I found my home in R&B music, and that's where I radiate, and that's where I shine at the best. I'm able to help people. I meet people where they're at.
I respect that. I respect that. Now, this is conversation based. I love having conversation with people, and I hope and I can imagine a lot of the stuff that was said today because I'm looking at the chat and there's prayer hands, amens, it's all over. We got a sermon going on right now, so we rocking, we rocking. But if you could look back at the younger version of Just Vince and tell yourself anything, what would that be and why?
Wow. Whew, that's rough. I actually don't go back that far, but if I could, I'll probably say, man, I'm sorry that the things happen to you happened to you. Um, you didn't deserve that, and we're gonna move forward from this point on. You know, that's what I would tell myself.
Yeah. My brother. I want to share something with you. Recently, when I was young, I went to prison at the age of 15. I was sentenced to life, and I came home at the age of 28. And recently, about a month ago, I was thinking about my journey as a young man, and I cried for the younger version of me.
Yeah,
And I never did that before, and I cried because I couldn't believe what the younger version of me endured.
yeah,
And in that very moment, I said to myself, and I said it to myself as I was speaking to the young man, it's okay. It's okay. I forgive you. And I
yeah,
don't think I ever had that moment to forgive myself, brother. So hearing you speak right now, man, I know where that feel, I know where that tear, I know where that I understand deeply, my brother. And I'm just gonna share with you what I shared to myself. It's okay, my brother. It's okay. You know what I mean? You forgave yourself, man, for what you couldn't do, what was not in your power to do, whatever the circumstance is, my brother.
yeah,
But the most important, powerful thing I do want to say to you, you here now. You
Yeah,
shining.
absolutely. Yeah.
You looking like you're 29. Like you look, you're looking like you're 29. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanna and I'm just gonna go right into what we know we're in the moment of people getting their flowers. That's a big conversation in this era. There's flowers, but here on MJMG presents by SHU Radio, we don't give out flowers. We give out honor because flowers do die, but honor lives forever. And
Yes.
just hearing the tip of the iceberg of your journey, feeling the vibrations in your word, even the tears. There's so much more that you endured and overcome that only the mind could imagine. And you're still here, being able to be a light, holding what people would say, you have the right to be bitter, you have the right to
Yeah.
be angry, and you've come to a place where you release that and you give love into the world, admiration, and also enlightenment. My brother, I gotta give you your honor for that, man, because I know people who trip and stump their toe and they hate the world. They
Yeah.
hate the world, and it's like, just for that, hate the world.
Yeah.
And here you are right now, being able to smile, share your vision, and still be a testimony of coming out of all that you have ever come out of, and still shining like a rock, my brother. We want to salute you, man. I just had to do that now. I had to do that now, man. I had to do that now.
I appreciate you.
Most definite. We also know that I read that you're very passionate, of course, about recovery, and helping those and supporting those that suffer from dementia.
Yeah.
That's
I have a patient. I don't like to call him a patient, a friend of mine that I help. He's 93 years old. His name is Mr. Bob. We're like best friends, and he has dementia. He's in a fourth stage dementia, and it's important for me to be here, to give, pour into him, and he pours into me, everything that I have. Because if we're looking at time, then he's probably not going to last that long. However, God has to say so on who goes and who won't. But it's important for me to make things easier for him, and for him to be happy.
nice, nice. See, you keep on going, my brother. You you keep on going, and that's the power of just people and the hearts of people. It's so easy
Yeah.
to get caught up and be callous or not even mindful, and out for self. And your characteristics is most definitely greatly. I know he does, and many of us do. Now, I want to go back to the music real quick. I want to go back to the music. I see your setup in the background. That's eye candy for me, my brother. Like when I see that, I be wanting to go around people's stuff. But musically, is there a project? And if there is a project, are you open to collaborating with people, or you kind of locked into something? What's going on in that aspect?
I'm always open to collaborating with anyone, long as they bring in purity, long as we can, vibe together. There has to be a vibe. We have to connect chemistry. Our chemistry has to be, right together. But I'm always willing to work with anybody, learn from anybody. I usually get on here and I'll create some sounds that I like. You know, I'll jump over. And I'm not a player, but I get up there and I, do my thing, and I'll send over Jay Styles. And what you think about this, man? You know what I mean? Can you recreate this here for me? you know. And then he's like, okay, sure, homie. And we'll go to work. I'm up. Music for me is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops.
Get it? I get it. I get it completely. You engineer as well.
No, I don't engineer. no more than what's up here. However, I'm open to learning.
Okay. I had to.
I'm open to learning it.
I see the setup, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to go through the computer right now.
Hey, I get up here, man, and I just, I got it all set up, mic'd up, and everything, and I get up here, and I'm like, I get something in my head. That's what this is for. I get something in my head, and I have to lay it down and record it, because tomorrow or 2 hours from now, I
Oh,
forgot it.
oh yeah,
You
oh
know,
yeah. Or you
yeah,
forgot how you did it. Like, oh
I
man,
forgot
these are
how
the
I did it.
words, but I forgot how I did it. Oh,
It
I
wasn't
know.
flowing right. So that's what that's for.
I get it completely. I truly get it. I truly get it. Artistry and expression is very difficult.
Hmm.
Could be very difficult. I don't want to say it is very. It can be very difficult for many people, and I know we got a lot of viewers and creatives that are on. And I always do this because what I'm about to say, because I was one of those kids or one of those individuals at a time that had a question or had a feel, and I didn't say anything. I just like
Right.
sat there hoping. But for those that are out there listening and wondering, you know, I'm trying to overcome something or I'm going through something, but I really want to get into this expression and I'm not sure how to do it. Do you have any words of wisdom that you can share to our viewers when it comes to like expression and finding who they are in that moment?
Yeah. Never stop believing in what's been placed in you. If you feel a passion, you got a lot of people that like to sing, and then you got people that love to sing. Michael Jordan would probably play basketball if he had never played in NBA because that's his passion. He couldn't help it; it's in him.
That's right.
And if it's something that's in you, you keep going because your breakthrough is going to come. You know, you can't win the lotto unless you play it. you know, so you have to stay in it no matter how long it takes. And you should never look at it as you're going to get rich from it. You're going to do it regardless of what happens. It's because that's your love. Don't look at it for the money aspect of it because most artists don't make it that far. However, if you do it from the love of for the love of music, then maybe one day you'll come across someone or a situation that somebody can say, "Hey, I've been listening to you, man." Because you never know. People listen to you low key, and you just don't
You
know.
don't know.
You always have to be prepared. And they may say, "I'm listening to you, man, and I like you. I like your style. I like your voice. I like your consistent." Some people will stay there and just to see how long you're gonna be there. If you're gonna break and run in a year, you
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
That's true.
So they want to
That's
say if you're going to be consistent, and determine what you're going to do before they step in, because nobody's going to promote you more than what you
you
promote
pro
yourself.
yourself. We need to put that on a billboard because I say that every day, and sometimes I get looked at like I'm an alien
It's
for
the truth.
for saying that. I know
Yeah.
you mentioned you are open to collaborations, and I saw in the chat, what's the best way to reach you? So could you just put out your information for those that are probably interested in contacting you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can get in contact with me on my email. That's V Becton, VBECTON 81 at gmail.com. I shouldn't have gave that one, but I don't remember my other one. I have to give that one. I have a music address too. My
Tell
mind, brain.
tell them just
I don't
DM
know what.
you.
Just DM me. Also, too, I don't have any problem with giving my phone number out. Call me. I'm always
Oh, I
open to
respect
talk
that.
to you. And trust me, if you call me, you're talking crazy, I know how to block you. 703-832-5653. Again, 703-832-5653. Or you can hit me on my website, www.justvincemusic.com.
You heard y'all, and he will block you if you talking crazy.
If you're
So
talking
come,
crazy, you out of here.
you out of here. It's nothing to him. It is light work. So make sure you don't waste the time of being blocked and utilize the time wisely. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my brother, shout out to you, man. I do want to again
Appreciate
commend you for your energy, man. You have such a great energy, and it radiates through devices. Everybody, even in the chat. My man Ivan in Russia right now, he's watching through the app, and he
So,
says,
Ivan.
I even just wrote in the comment, I like this guy.
Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
I picture Ivan like this big tough Russian dude that just don't want to get mushy.
Hey, it is what it is, you know. It is what it is.
Oh man.
Iron
Before
sharpened iron.
That is correct. That is correct. Before I let you go, I want to ask you something designated strictly to the essence of R&B. And there's many different elements, and there's not one thing that contributes to the question I'm gonna ask. But just in your opinion, from someone who's been in and around it for so long, like their experience, as well as someone who does it, what do you feel was, I don't want to say the downfall, what do you feel was some of the mistakes in R&B that guided it to where it's not at today?
Respect for women. Respect for women. Social media is one of those tools that we need. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's allowed some of the us to meet the masses of of people all over the world. But just for the love of music and the respect for women and the respect for art. You back in the day when I was growing up, you couldn't get on the rest. You couldn't even get on the radio and say shit. I hate to say that, but that's how you couldn't get up there and say
You
shit.
couldn't.
You know what I
No,
mean,
yeah.
now SpongeBob is cussing. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is
So,
true. That is true.
there's certain things you couldn't do. You couldn't get on the radio and say these hoes ain't loyal. You know what I mean? I'm just using that
No, no,
example.
you so
You
right.
could
You couldn't
not.
say that.
You could not. You know what I mean? And now it's become common. So what happened to the respect that we have, that our grandparents had, for being the head of the household, being the leader? You know what I mean? I say this, but and I'm gonna leave it alone. Society say that you are grown when you're 18. However, they'll still put you in jail from 18 on. Okay, 17 back you can go to adolescence, but 18 on you're going to the big boys. And the women are using these words like king so loosely. And I say that to say this, I'm gonna tie it in. Society appoints you an adult at 18. However, that don't make you a king.
No.
Kings are appointed by God, because I never seen a king that had one kingdom to take care of. A king take care of his surroundings, the people who are around him, because he's smart enough to know that when he take care of his people take care of him. So women, y'all are part to blame too. You got to stop giving these guys um, um, titles like king and let these guys grow up and be men. You remind me of that movie Baby Boy with Tyrese. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's a good
You
analogy
got to
right
get up the
there.
crib. You got to get up the crib, bro. You got to make it for yourself. Because we're only going to teach our children what was taught to us. Get off the PlayStations at 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 to 10 o'clock at night.
Night.
Let's get something done. Around the house. And I just grew up old fashioned. My grandmother raised me when my parents died, and so I had that hardcore upbringing and raising. And so we have to hold ourselves accountable for what we do, in life and how we treat people.
I recently had used that phrase in reference to like, yo, I grew up old fashioned, and an older gentleman looked at me and he said, nah, you didn't grow up old fashioned, you grew up good fashion.
Well, yeah, that's
And I
you know
love
what, I'm like that.
I love that. He was like,
I
no,
like
my
that.
brother, you grew up good fashion.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm gonna adopt that, man. So yeah. So salute to
yeah.
you.
But back in the day, if you said something back in the day, you can get checked by somebody else
Yo, yeah.
because, and then you got home, you got checked again for getting checked. Now you say, "Hey, young man, don't do that." You're gonna cause harm to yourself, and then their mom want to come and cuss you out, maybe shoot you. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to take care of the neighborhood. It takes a village to raise a child. It really do,
It really does.
especially in our culture of people.
Yeah. And we should adopt and allow the village to do it, because it's us. Like we do
We're
have to
losing,
build, and
bro.
like you, yeah. Yeah, my brother, your conversation, your music. I mean, if I could read everything on the chat, people saying connection and love. This needs to be said like that. You know, we get a lot of good energy, man, and I want to thank you for bringing that in. This Monday, you know, I used this phrase and I mentioned it earlier. We humanize the superheroes. And again, just listening to your music and seeing you, people don't know what it took for you to get to those words.
Took a lot.
It took a lot. It took a
Took a
more
lot.
more than we even covered. More than we even
Oh,
covered than
man.
we could imagine. But I want to thank you. We got our eyes on you, and you know more people's reaching out, and they're gonna be reaching out. So I want to thank you, man. Before I let you go, I want to leave the floor with you. If there's anything you want to say, anything you want to share, the floor is yours.
I'll say this here. Always put God before everything you do. The first thing you put before God will be the first thing you're gonna lose.
Mm, you can't say it any better than that, and any clearer than that. I like that, my brother.
And
Thank you
keep right
for
on keeping on.
thank you
Never
for
give up on
sharing.
yourself.
Don't ever. Don't ever.
Yeah.
We got some more amens. I'm telling you, we had a good day today. We had a we had a good day. And for those that's viewing, we don't rehearse this. This
No.
is this is pure conversation. This is pure conversation. I want to thank you for brightening my day. And
I
I had a
appreciate
long
you.
day. It was really good having some good energy and good conversation.
You can start
Just
your day over anytime you want to. It's gonna get better.
my man better write a book. better write quotes. Thank you, my brother.
You're
You have a
welcome.
blessed night. Keep on. Everything that you're doing is working, and you're helping others work as well. So we appreciate you, man.
And I
Let's give.
appreciate you for having me up here.
Oh
God
man, it's
bless you.
God bless you, man. Let's give you a round of applause. You have a good night, my brother.
Yes, sir.
We look forward for some more music. We look forward for
Yeah,
some music. For the viewers,
it's
don't go
coming.
nowhere. I got my last word, and we got another video. So the viewers don't go nowhere, my brother. You have a good night and
All
be
right.
safe.
Good night.
Have a good one. Shout out to everybody that's on right now. That was just Vince. The brother came in. He came in guided. He came in guided and what they say, highly favored. Highly favored. Really great energy, man. It's really dope. And I want to thank everybody that hung out and got something from today. It's really good. You know, I always got to give the last word at the end of the night. And what I want to say is before we go into the You and I video song by Just Vince, if you didn't get anything from today, if you didn't get anything in today, take this. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever hardships you face, sadness, even if you're marked to complete and do the same things that were done to you, you could work that through. And it's always brighter on the other side. Now you could submit to your hardships, but you know what you're gonna get if you do. So continue on. And in that continuation, there's a key thing. You always gotta keep learning, keep growing. But one of the most powerful elements that we got to talk about today, you have to learn to what? Forgive yourself. Sometimes we harbor hardships that happen to us, and it's not even the hardships that we're holding on to. It's how we dealt with it. It's how it affected us. And as we grow, we never allow the younger version of us to grow because we hold them there in that hardships, in remembrance, in pain. And sometimes we think that pain is our strength. So we want to hold that. We don't want to forget. We harbor those rocks, those boulders. And as we grow, guess what? Those boulders grow. Because as we keep going, more hardships, and they might be small. So it'll be little pebbles added on. But as we grow, our bag gets heavy and it weighs us. And no one sees it. No one knows it but us. Let them shits go. Grow. Learn to forgive yourself. Don't forget. Because when we forget, we get reminded. And usually when we get reminded on something we forgot, it's never good. So don't forget. But learn to forgive. Learn to continue with the scars, the scuffs, and be the better version of you. Because if you're not good, you're good to no one. Shout out to everybody that was on tonight. I had to, had to get my Sherman on today. Had the Reverend Spud. But again, everything, all our last words is on the fact of whoever I'm sending from. So I want to send a big shout out to just Vince for inspiring that whole conversation. It's pure, and most definitely much love to everybody that's on Instagram, as well as the MJMG app, Apple TV, Google TV, and whatever TV you on. Most definitely spread that love and that energy. Thank y'all all for jumping on today. But just remember, y'all, seriously speaking, we have to keep growing and we have to keep learning who we are today. Don't get lost in who you were. Learn who you are today. And there was one word that he said it very subtle, but it's very powerful. He says, I have the experience. Don't let experience be a moment that just did something to you. Use it to do something for you. All right, that's enough of me rapping. I'm about to send the offering around. I'm about to send the offering. Just put it in here. I'm gonna send. Could you send that down the aisle? But y'all have a good night, man. Keep safe. This is you and I, just Vince, man. Y'all have a good night. See y'all next Monday.